Welcome to another Hollywood movie show. Today we have a very special guest. A Hollywood's new lady man, all the way from Asia. We have Spring Roll. Mr. Spring Roll, how are you? You look all crispy and stuff. Can you tell us a little bit more about your movie?
Oh, my movie? You want to know about my movie? It's a new film. It's called All Wound Up. I know, the studios, they like to come up with these crazy names. And because, I'm a Spring Roll, they thought All Wound Up is a good name. And it's a buddy cop movie. So basically it's me and my cousin, the Egg Roll, who's more like a pillow. So, they like to put the skinny guy with the fat guy in the movie. I'm the skinny guy. Mm-hmm.
And the good-looking one too, right?
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn. What all the tabloids say, and they put me on the front page and everything, and I don't mind that. I mean, sometimes I think I look a little bit shiny, but it doesn't matter how much powder they put on me. It just soaks in, and I still look shiny.
That's great. You're a big star in Asia already, and you recorded quite a few albums yourself. What takes you to Hollywood?
Well, it's just kind of the next step in my career. I thought, hey, I've already made it here in Asia, and the next thing is to just go over to the States. I want to give the U.S. a taste of me, Spring Roll.
The movie has a lot of Hollywood elements to it. For sure, we cannot get away from is the love scene. I know Hong Kong is more traditional culture compared to Hollywood. As a Spring Roll, how do you find your, quote-unquote role-like and rolling around with your other female characters? How did you find all those?
Oh, that was... I was a little bit shy at first. Coming from Hong Kong, as you say, we're a little bit more modest in Hong Kong. We don't like to show what's under the wrapper all the time. But I thought, I'm in the USA. When you're in the USA, you have to act like an American. So I just took it all off. I showed them my bean sprouts,
Wow.
And it's all been going okay.
And all the ladies take it quite nicely too, right? Hey, everybody can use some vegetables.
That's right. It's what I tell them. It's all about a balanced diet. Don't shy away just because it's deep fried.
So the movie premiere is when?
It's a summer movie. It's one of the big blockbusters of the year. I think All Wound Up. It's going to be a big hit. This is my launch pad into fame. So, keep an eye out for it. Tell your friends.
I'm
so
sure.
Go to the website, springrollallwoundupthemovie.com.hk.uk/.
Awesome. I hope all of our audiences got that. The next question I want to ask you is, what's your next move in Hollywood? Are you planning for another movie?
I can't tell you the next movie. I mean, I'm under contract to be very quiet, but I can tell you one thing, though. It's completely new concept. They've never seen it in Asia. It's not 3D. It's the next thing after 3D.
Oh, so it's more than touching your crispy skin then, if it's more than 3D.
Okay, I don't want to give away too much, but let me just tell you this. It's going to be a workout for your taste buds.
Oh, for the movie right now, would you be putting any of your own song in it?
I've been in negotiations about that, and I've been asking them, they need to pay me a little bit more if they want to use all aspects of my talent. So, we haven't really come to any agreement on that yet, but it looks pretty good. I'm hoping that some of my musical skills will be highlighted in the film. My partner, Egg Roll, he can't really sing. I don't want to make him look like a loser.
You're such a nice cousin. So is Spring Roll adjusting in Hollywood?
Oh, you mean Egg Roll?
Yeah.
Well, Egg Roll, he plays more the comedy relief part in our partnership. He's the guy who gets caught in the barbed wire when we're trying to climb over the barbed wire. He's the one who gets his leg chewed by a dog, trips and falls, and makes a fool of himself in front of the ladies. And I'm the one driving the convertible Camaro.
Has your crispy skin caught in the convertible, or is it actually dangerous for you to drive a convertible? Maybe stones or dust got on you.
Oh, everything's dangerous. Everything is dangerous when you're a Spring Roll. Okay, you have to just give up the idea that you can just walk down the street like a normal person. Everywhere I go, there are people trying to reach out and snap a little piece off of me just because they think I won't notice if the corner's missing. But I'll tell you, if the corner's missing, my insides fall out.
Right.
That doesn't happen to you. I bet when you walk down the street, you're fine. Nobody tries to snap a corner off you, right?
No, never has that happened.
Exactly. Regular things like driving a convertible Camaro can be a little more dangerous because if I stop at a stoplight and there's somebody with a dog in the car beside me, people leave their windows down so their dogs can stick their heads out and get some air. But they don't think that maybe that dog might reach out and try to take a big bite out of my head.
That's right. I have heard a rumor. I've heard that you went to the hospital a few times to the emergency room. Was there anything serious? Some people said part of your skin has fallen off because you had too many surgeries. I didn't buy it myself, but I've heard that because you got snapped off for so many times, part of your skin are actually needed a lot of surgeries and during
you know what? I'm 100% 100% real. I want to put a stop to these rumors right now because a lot of people are saying that, Spring Roll got some modifications done or Spring Roll had this skin replaced or whatever. That's how he looks so good all the time. And maybe that's what you're trying to get at when you were asking me earlier about how I stay looking so good.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, no, I do think you're looking so handsome all the time. You're crispy golden skin. Just so want to have a bite of it.
Oh, well, you're making me blush. Yeah. Wow, no. I was born with this skin, I was wrapped, I was fried, and this is how I came out, I'm just lucky, golden skin. And yes, I spent some time in the hospital, but nothing's ever been replaced. I've just had to spend a little bit of time healing, maybe a little time under the heat lamp so I could crisp up again. I get a little bit damp and soggy sometimes if I've been out working for a whole day. But, a little bit of time, rest and recuperation under a heat lamp, and I'm good to go.
Now, the last question I want to ask you is, you are going to travel around the world promoting this new movie. Do you change your flavor, meaning do you change your feeling inside so that when you go to different countries, all the girls can have the local spring roll of who you are?
Well, I don't get around that much. I think a lot of people think that the life of a movie star is all about being with so many different girls and having, everyone having a little bit of a taste of you. But I'm a professional. I try to stay true to who I am. What's inside of me is what you might expect to be inside of a good old, Hong Kong spring roll. I've got the bean sprouts. I've got the barbecue pork. I've got some green onions. I go really well with a dip in Worcestershire sauce. So, like if I go to India, it's not like I'm going to fill myself with butter chicken or I'm just trying to be me.
Wow, that's amazing. We Hollywood can have a taste of you, literally. And thank you very much for coming to our show. We hope to hear from you very soon next time.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Cherry.
Thank you, Spring Roll. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Thank you.
Was it, does it come as a tiny little bit surprise that you're a veggie, a food in a movie theater?
Yeah, it's a surprise for about a second, but then there's no real time to be surprised.
You're used to it anyways. Kevin and I knew quite some years ago. He has been an inspiration to me. The first thing I knew about him was his photography when we met in Canada. At that time, I was trying to do some photography, so he gave me a lot of tips, and that's how we met. And then I discovered that Kevin, I'm so sorry, I think I'll be calling you Kelvin for the rest of the show. But Kevin, actually, the fun thing about Kevin is more than photography. He also does something called improv. That's what the show was just about. He didn't know what his character was or what kind of interview I'll be giving him. He only knew it in the spot. I always want to know why you started doing improv, Kevin.
Well, I've always been a fan of comedy. I think when I was growing up, I didn't really listen to that much music. I was mainly listening to comedy shows on the radio, stand-up comics and sketch comics, and I really enjoyed that kind of thing. And I didn't know anything about improv, actually. I'd never seen it before. I'd never heard of it. But then after university, after I graduated from journalism school, I was at a party, and a friend of mine was there from high school. And we just started talking, and I said, "Hey, what are you up to these days?" And he said, "I'm doing improv in Toronto." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that sounds interesting. What's that?" And so he said, "Well, we just make stuff up as we go along. We just kind of get a suggestion from the audience, and we make up a show, and we do that." So he invited me to the next show that he had in Toronto, and I was sitting in the audience, and every time somebody would say something, I just wanted to jump up and join them on stage. And so the next opportunity I had to do a workshop, I did the workshop, and I've been totally hooked on it since then.
What's the difference do you feel between improv and perhaps acting out from a script?
Well, improv, it all comes from you. It comes from what you have inside, what type of experiences you have. When you're working from a script, you're working from other people's ideas. I guess unless you've written it yourself, you're working with other people's ideas. Now, improv, when you work with a team of people, which I do, we kind of collaborate as a group to create something on stage. And so we are working with other people's ideas, but it's also their shared ideas, so it feels a lot more alive to me. And it also feels like there's a lot more there's an element of risk to it because it can really, it can fail horribly. And I've been in situations both where it's been wonderful and transcendent and beautiful, but I've also been in situations where it has been
Can you
awful.
share with
So
us one awful
there's,
situation?
there's
Okay,
a real.
tell us a very good one first, and then follow with a very horrible one that didn't really succeed.
It's hard to say because I mean, a wonderful. I can narrow down to experiences in general. I just got back from the Vancouver Improv Festival on the West Coast in Canada, and they produce just such an amazing festival where they promote the shows very well, and they choose who's in the festival very carefully, so all the shows are very strong. And so, when we went out on that stage, it was just a packed house of, close to 300 people, packed in very closely. So there's just such a wonderful energy coming from that crowd that it felt like our team could do no wrong. And just like the feeling of being up there and creating something with a group of people and knowing exactly what the other person's going to say before they even say it, and being able to respond and to just like create something beautiful in the moment is something you can't really get anywhere else.
The audience energy. I think that's what I observed too. Being an improv audience, you get a lot more out of it because you are in some sense part of the acting too, although you are not really on stage, but you can give out a lot of different elements to the play.